Hi guys, it's me. I teach math, or as some of you may know me as Miss Oliver if you're taking my 7th grade math 7 class. Today I'll be showing you a video on multiplying and dividing integers. This time I'm going to try to make the video short. But I definitely want to get my point across to making sure that you understand. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I Teach Math. And let's go ahead and get started on the video. So here I'm just starting off with the rules. If you were in my class, you kind of did an investigation on your own to develop your own rules. So I'm going to assume that we understood and understand what the rules are. So when we're multiplying integers, and I could put this together, when we're multiplying and dividing integers, when you multiply a positive times a positive, you will yield a positive answer. A negative times a negative, you would yield a negative answer. And then a positive times a negative is equal to negative, and a negative times a positive is equal to negative. So those are the rules for multiplying integers. And then we have those same rules for dividing integers, which I'll get into in a second. So just to look at it, remember when we talked about absolute value, when we were talking about adding and subtracting integers? Well, we'll apply that same thing to multiplying and dividing integers. So, for example, you may have 9 times a negative 4, or it may look like 9 times negative 4. So either way, you have two of these numbers. Keep in mind, guys, that remember when I told you about the parentheses separated operation, whereas in this case, there's not a plus sign or a subtraction sign in the middle of it, so you know that we're going to multiply this. So anyway, going back to absolute value. When we are talking about multiplying integers, we're going to take the absolute value of those two integers, which in this case, the absolute value of 9 times the absolute value of negative 4. We know that absolute value is always positive, so it's going to give us a 9 times 4, which is equal to 36. Well, we go back to follow our rules. In our problem, it was 9 times negative 4. So look here, we have positive times negative, so our final answer will be a negative 36. So multiplying dividing integers, in this case, is a little more easier than adding and subtracting integers, but you really have to understand the rules and apply them as you go and not forget. So we have that example. So now next, if I were to give you 4 times 4, go back to our rules. Both integers are positive. Even when you take the absolute value of both integers, it's positive. So our final answer will be 16. And that's what we have. So just to look at a slight little a couple of more examples. If we have 10 times negative 4, negative 4 times 4 maybe. And we have negative 3 times negative 12. And then we just have 3 times 3. I'm just coming up with these problems. Each of these problems follow the rules. So 10 times negative 4, if you take the absolute value of 10, it's 10, and then the absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4, which will give us the answer of 40. However, going back to our rules of positive times negative, we should have negative 40. So negative 4 times 4 gives us a negative 16. Negative 3 times a negative 12 gives us a positive 36. And then 3 times 3 gives us a positive 9. So those are the rules for multiplying integers. Well, in order to be able to divide integers, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and clear the board. So if you need to rewind this video, go ahead and do so. But I'm going to clear the board, and we're going to talk about dividing integers, all right? So dividing integers still go along with the same type of rules as multiplying integers, all right? So let's say we have a positive divided by a positive, it's going to yield a positive answer. A negative divided by a negative will yield a positive answer. A positive divided by a negative will yield a negative answer, and so forth. A negative divided by a positive will also yield a negative. So these are the rules that we will use to divide integers. Once again, we are still taking the absolute value of the numbers. So my first example, I'm just going to jump right into it, being different signs. So we have negative 60 divided by 10, the absolute value of 60, and the absolute value of 10. Sorry about that. I do not need to make sure that that does not confuse my students, because sometimes they will get confused with the parentheses if they're not paying attention. So I definitely don't want to confuse you guys. So let me clean up my mess. All right, so that's the absolute value of 10. So the absolute value of 60 is 60, and the absolute value of 10 is 10. So notice in the beginning of the problem, it was negative 60 divided by 10, which gives us 6. Well, since the one integer is negative and the other is positive, guess what? A negative divided by a positive or vice versa, our final answer will be a negative. So let's look at another example. Let's look at negative 25 divided by negative 5. Well, that's two negatives divided by a negative divided by a negative. So my final answer will be a positive 5 according to my rules. So all of the rules are both rules are the same. You still have to think about it as I'm taking the absolute value, but I'm using the rules to determine the sign of my answer. So like I said, I think it's a little more easier than adding and subtracting integers. However, you would still need to understand and still need to follow the rules so that you could definitely be proficient in multiplying and dividing integers. So I hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, or if you look for more videos, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I want to thank you. Bye.